Hey there, my little friends. How are you today? Welcome to another exciting episode of Tell Me a Story.
I am Neville, and this is my wife, Carol.
And we are here taking you ahead on Joseph the Dreamer Boy's story. Should I begin the story, Neville? Because I'm very excited.
Yeah. But let's sign ourselves in before we start.
Okay, we'll make the sign of the cross.
In the name of the
Father,
Father, Son,
and of the Son,
and the
of
Holy
the Holy
Spirit.
Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. So kids, Joseph, who had all these amazing dreams that I told you about, was rebuked by everyone, his dad and his brothers. Now the sons of Jacob, the other 11, used to go to graze their father's flocks near Shechem. This place was right in the center of two towns. So you must know that many traders passed by on this route carrying expensive perfumes and spices. Jacob one morning said to his son Joseph, "As you know that your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem, come here. I want to send you two over there." Now this was quite at a distance, so Joseph had never gone there before. "Go," he said, "and see if everything is okay with your brothers and the rest of the flock, and come back to me and tell me what happens there." So Joseph was sent off from the valley of Hebron. Joseph went after his brothers and found that they were not in Shechem, but rather in a town called Dothan. But they saw him from a distance, and before this young Joseph could come, they were making a plotted plan to kill Joseph. "Here comes that dreamer," they said to each other. "Come on now, let us kill him and throw him into one of these dry wells. And then we will go home and tell father that a ferocious animal has devoured him. Then we will see what happens to all these dreams that he keeps having." Now you can see, children, what jealousy can do. It can make you not think twice before taking the life of the other. When Reuben, the eldest son of Jacob, the son of Leah, when he heard that his brothers were plotting this, he tried to rescue his younger half-brother Joseph by convincing the others, "See, listen, let's not take his life. Don't shed any blood. If you want, just throw him in this pit here in the wilderness. But please, do not kill him." Reuben said this so that he can rescue him and take him back to his father. So it was like a way he was trying to buy time from his brothers' plotting. But there was not much time to think because Joseph was approaching really fast, and with his amazing coat with long sleeves that his father had gifted him. So as he approached closer, the boys took hold of his coat, stripped it into two, and threw it down. Then they picked this little Joseph and threw him in this dry pit. The well was empty and there was no water in it, so it wouldn't be that Joseph would drown and die. But he also would not be able to come up from this pit. They all sat down next to that pit to have their meal. As they were doing that, they saw a large caravan of Ishmaelites traveling by. One of the brothers, whose name was Judah, said to the other brothers, "What will we gain if we kill this brother of ours and cover up for his blood? Come, instead, let us sell him to these Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our own flesh and blood." At the thought of gaining something back in return for Joseph, the other brothers also agreed. So, when these merchants approached nearby, the brothers pulled out little Joseph out of the pit and sold him as a slave to these Ishmaelites for 20 shekels, that is 20 coins of silver. So they got their money and they got rid of Joseph too. The Ishmaelites took Joseph as a slave to Egypt. On the other hand, Reuben, who was thinking of how to save Joseph, he was not around there because he had gone a little further to find a way to rescue Joseph. When he returned, he saw that Joseph's clothes were torn and thrown on the ground. He went to his brothers and said, "The boy is not in that pit that we threw him. Where is he?" They got Joseph's clothes, slaughtered a goat nearby, dipped this coat in blood, and took this garment back to their father and said, "Father, Father, we have found this. See for yourself. This is the robe of your dear son Joseph." Jacob recognized it and said, "Yes, it is my son's robe." The other brothers said, "Maybe some ferocious animal has devoured him. Maybe Joseph has been torn into pieces." Then Jacob, upon hearing this and knowing how much he loved Joseph, who was for him Rachel's dear son, his beloved's dear son, went into mourning for days to come. As a practice, when someone went into mourning in the Old Testament, they tore off their clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for days on end. The other children of Jacob, the sons and daughters, they came forward to comfort him, but Jacob would refuse to be comforted. "No," he said, "I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave." With these words, he wept and wept for days. Meanwhile, Joseph, who was not really dead, was being sold by the Ishmaelites in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials. Potiphar was the captain of Pharaoh's palace. And this story will just get more interesting in Pharaoh's palace. So kids, a few episodes earlier, I had asked you, are you struggling with jealousy? And like Neville suggested, let's see if we find a solution in the story of Joseph. Well, jealousy only leads to destruction and death. So if you are struggling with jealousy, it is better that you nip it at this moment rather than lead it to your downfall. Ask the grace from God to clean your heart. Receive the sacrament of confession and keep your heart clean. And especially pray for the person you are jealous of, that the blessings that God has bestowed upon that person may be abundant and you may find a way to focus on your blessings instead of growing jealous of theirs. With this lesson, I conclude today's episode. I want you to stay tuned and come back eagerly to listen to what happens in Pharaoh's palace. Until then, we are signing off and saying goodbye.
Goodbye. See you.